Michael, I'm Darrell Pasloski, Premier of Yukon Territory.
We had unfortunate news with the closure of the Wolverine mine yesterday. Can you comment on the closure?
Well, we're disappointed in the closure. We understand the circumstances around the difficulty with low commodity prices, but certainly there is an impact on Yukoners, and of course we're concerned about that as a government. We're doing all that we can to ensure that Yukon is a place for mining companies to come forward and for investors to invest their money. And whether that means infrastructure like roads and bridges and airports, whether that means energy with the creation of new hydro, and we're also moving forward on LNG for backup power generation, or whether it's investments that we have in training with the creation of a Center for Northern Innovation in Mining, or whether we're focusing on the regulatory and the permitting processes. So as a government, we are working in those areas that we have control over. Sadly, we don't have control over commodity prices, but we'll work towards creating the environment that we have that's a best opportunity. We're also moving forward right now with a mine licensing improvement initiative and also a new mineral development strategy, which, our goal of that is really to make Yukon the place in the world for the mining industry.
We're at the Roundup, British Columbia's biggest mining show. You're here at the conference, meeting with people. What are people telling you about doing business in the Yukon?
They're telling us that it's an exciting place to do business. I know that when we work with those companies that are in the Yukon, they of course want us to continue to do more work, and we know that that's our responsibility. You look across the landscape from other jurisdictions, Yukon still is a very solid place to come and to invest as things are today, and we want to continue to improve them, and which is what we're doing. But we're the only jurisdiction, I can tell you, in Canada that actually has a legislated mandate for what we call the Yukon Mineral Advisory Board, and they consist of members of Yukon executives from mining companies along with First Nation representation. They're mandated to provide us with recommendations on an annual basis to help focus where we need to go. And I know that we are the only jurisdiction in the country that has that sort of a relationship with industry and with First Nations.
How important is mining to the Yukon?
I can't overestimate how important it is. Truly, it is the cornerstone industry for the Yukon Territory. Small population, large geographical area. But really, this is our cornerstone. We have other industries as well. Tourism is an important component of our economy as well. And as we continue to grow, we can see more diversification in our economy, which helps us get through some of the downturns in the mining industry. However, mining has existed in the Yukon Territory since it was created back in 1898, and we see this as the cornerstone, the backbone of growing our private sector economy and creating that wealth and prosperity, not only for Yukoners, but for those mining companies and for investors as well.
Can you tell me about the regulatory environment and what you're doing right now? What are the initiatives there?
So we've created an initiative called the Mine Licensing Improvement Initiative, which is working together with industry and with First Nations to remove some of the duplication, some of the confusion that exists between the water board licensing process and the court's mining licensing process. And of course we will do that in conjunction or in coordination with our environmental assessment process as well. And this is a very exciting project. It's a lot of work. We want to get a substantial work done in this year, and we're looking forward to those results. The feedback that we're receiving from everybody is they're excited, they recognize these opportunities, and so we're going to move ahead with industry and First Nations to make these improvements.
Natural Resources said that spending for exploration was down in the Yukon. It's been down around as well too. That's been mostly a function of what the commodity prices are doing.
A function of commodity prices, but what I can tell you that in 2014 we had about a 70% increase in our exploration over 2013. So we've seen some good growth again in 2014, and we're excited in the outbound years as well.
What about the infrastructure in the Yukon?
We had tabled this year in the government our largest capital budget in the history of the Yukon Territory, a largest budget investment in capital on the transportation side as well. So we're focused on roads, we're focused on bridges, we're focused on airports. We're looking at a redundant fiber optic cable link into the territory as well. We're working with the ports that we have through the state of Skagway and Stewart, BC. So we will continue to invest and improve on the infrastructure that we have. We also want to work with Government of Canada and the national component of their Building Canada Fund to look at a couple key areas, the Dawson Range area in Yukon and also around the Nahanni Range Road. And because what's unique about the territories, unlike the provinces own the resources. In the Yukon, we manage the resources, we don't own them. So there's certainly a significant benefit to all people of Canada, the Government of Canada as well, and so we look forward to partnering with Canada to see that we can continue to build some of this infrastructure that really could be the difference between projects moving ahead or not moving ahead.
Oil prices have almost been halved. You share a border with Alberta. Has there been opportunities out of that, and also what has been the pitfalls with the down calls on oil prices? I guess that makes it cheaper for some of the miners and from some of the explorers.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You certainly, I recognize the contribution that provinces like Alberta, Saskatchewan, Newfoundland make to Canada as a whole because of the revenue sharing that exists in this country. So there's some concern on the larger scale and the results of this drop in the prices. Certainly for consumers, we're seeing a benefit, right? People are seeing it at the pumps. Mining industry will see lower energy costs as well. So there's a good component to it, but there's also a negative to it as we look across the country. Certainly, the loss of jobs in industry is a sort of a pyramiding effect that can certainly affect jobs in other parts of the country as well.
Thank you very much for your time, Premier.
Thank you.